Internet Threats and Preservation, a brief review.
The author are Shinambola Sanamdeep Kaur, Gulshan Kumar Assistant Professor, SBS SDC, Farah Zapper. Video presentation.
Good day everyone, we are the group number 6 and I'm Aileni Rojas together with my members Renz Rafaela, Maureen Rial, De La Cruz Jolen, Michelle Tanador, Nurkisha Tantong, and John Rick Prudente. So today, we will going to discuss to you the journal that we choose to present. Okay, so the journal that we choose to present entitled Internet Threats and Prevention. In the authors of this journal are Shinambola, Sonamdeep Kaur, and Gulshan Kumar. Okay, now we'll start at the abstract, wherein it will give us the all overview of the article. Dito malalaman natin kung tungkol saan ba ang journal, ano-anong threats ang nabanggit, and also the prevention that they've mentioned to prevent threats. So according to the author, internet security protects information from threats, which is very true. Ano-ano nga ba yung mga internet security measures? So meron tayong firewalls, antivirus software, and of course, using strong passwords. So, by this, mas magiging safe yung personal data and yung system ng computer mismo from those malicious attacks. They also emphasize here that increasing online activity, shopping, and banking, and other more activities na ginagawa online. So, since we are living in 21st century, which is lahat ng bagay is nagagawa na natin without going outside of our house, diba? We just simply use our mobile phones with the help of internet. We can pay bills. So, as more people conduct sensitive activities online, like sinabi ko na nga kanina, like financial transactions, paying billings, so mas malaki din yung chances na yung mga cyber attackers is makaka-interfere during the transactions. Kasi the more na gumagamit ka ng online banking, the more chances din na may encounter mo talaga yung mga malicious attacks, na which is yung target nila is your financial information. Sinabi din dito na the internet users face viruses, malware, and cyber attacks. Kasi nga, hindi sa lahat ng oras si internet is purely on the positive side lang. May mga instances talaga na which is si internet is home to numerous threats. Kasama na dito yung viruses na nakaka-infect talaga ng system ng iyong computer. The malware as well, that they use, diba? That they use to steal data. And also the what we call cyber attacks na nakaka-disrupt ng services to steal information. So example, you download a file from a untrusted sources that could instill or install a virus on your computer. So clicking malicious link mostly sa Messenger, meron din through text, email, and that could lead to a malware infections. So, this paper reviews threats and protection mechanism. So, in this research paper daw, they really emphasize or they really want us to know that the purpose of this is to examine yung mga virus internet security threats and also na-discuss din dito yung mga method to protect against all those threats. So later on, as we go on with the discussion, malalaman natin kung ano-ano ba yung mga research, ano-ano ba yung mga na-research nilang threats, and kung paano maiwasan yung mga ganung malicious attacks. So let's proceed with the introduction of the paper, wherein it says here that internet has made system security a major concern. So, kasi nga, the widespread use of the internet has significantly increased the vulnerability ng computer system and also yung data sa mga different threats as well. So, it because, if hindi mo talaga ma-secure yung system mo sa maraming yung security, ano ba tawag nito? Sa security mo, is magiging critical issue talaga siya for us, not just for us, no, and also sa mga taong in business din, like for instance. Kasi yung mga taong in business, sila talagang target ng mga scammer kasi nga malaki yung hinahawakan nilang money as well. So, target nila yung financial information ng bawat tao. So, sinabi din dito na unauthorized access has increased due to online exposure. So, it because if you are into online activities, no, then therefore, sinabi ko na nga kanina na mas malaki din talaga yung chances na magkakaroon ng unauthorized access attempts from various sources. Another is, sabi dito, internet threats are affect sensitive data globally. So, it because the global nature of the what we call of the internet combined with technological advancement and human factors as well that become wide of threats that can have far reaching consequences dahil sa mga threats. So the paper discusses risks and how to prevent them. So, meaning to say, itong research paper na ginawa ng author is they wanted us to explore yung mga risks na associated sa internet security and to provide strategies on how to just mitigate or kung ano-ano yung mga dapat iwasan gawin to prevent those risks. So sinabi nga din dito na according to the author, the internet offers fast communication and access to information, which is agree din naman talaga tayong lahat na we're in, no, yung internet is very powerful tool for the communication and information sharing. However, sabi nga dito na it possess various security threats. Kasi nga, despite sa mga good benefits na binibigay ni internet, may mga disadvantage din siyang naibibigay, which is yung mga threats na nga. So, lahat ng threats na nandito, i-discuss yan nila Ma'am Michelle and Sir Janrick Prudente later on. And yung mas kinagandahan lang din talaga ng research paper nila, ginawa ng author nga, is aside sa mga mentioned threats, may binigay din silang data na which is may mga recent attacks, yung mga set threats, and also those impact na nakaroon during the attacks. So, dito, these are the common threats which are spyware, adware, Trojan horses, bots, viruses, and worms. So, dito, no, later on, malalaman natin yung mga ano-ano nga ba yung common threats na ito, and also, yung mga definition nila, yung current attack, kung saan sila kung saan nakaroon ng attacks and ano yung mga impacts ng attacks ng mga threats na ito. So, i-discuss yan later on ng aking kagrupo. So, thank you.
Good day everyone, my name is Renzo Rafaela and I will discuss about internet threat. According to this journal, internet threats has two types, the physical and non-physical. So the physical has three branches, the internal, the external, and the humans. So when we say physical threats, this is the latent source of an occurrence which may cause possibly effect in the loss and physical harm of the system is known as physical threats. So pag na-damage yung system na yon ay yun ang physical threats. So the internal threats, this type of threats include fire, unbalanced power contribute, dampness in the room, accommodation in the hardware, etc. So, pag sa loob ng hardware ay nagkasunog ay yun ang internal threats. So, the external threats naman ay these threats include the flood, earthquake, etc. So, the external threats, ito ang mga natural na pangyayari tulad ng baha at lindol. At meron pang iba or ulan, yon. And the human threats is this include theft, destruction of the communication and hardware disturbance, unintentional or deliberate errors. So ito na yung sanhi dahil sa tao, yung pagnanakaw or hindi marunong gumamit ng tulad ng computer at nasira ito dahil sa human or sa tao. So yun ang human threats. And hindi non-physical threats is the virus. So the virus is, for example, may USB ka na kumonekta sa isang files at meron yung virus ay nagre-replicate ito at dumadami ito. Yun yung virus. And the Trojans naman ay so yung Trojans naman, these are malicious program disguised as legitimate software daw sila. And they trick user into installing them by appearing harmless para pag na-install ito, doon na nagpe-perform ng malicious action na nag-steal ng data and even installing and even deleting your files. So yun yung Trojans. And the worms naman ay ito ay self-replicating programs that spread across network without needing a host program like virus. So hindi siya katulad ng virus na kailangan pa ng host tulad ng USB para ma-transfer yung virus. Ito siya across network, rapidly ito nag-spread and oftenly clogging network and consuming resources and even deleting your files. So ito yung worms. And the phishing naman, and nagwo-work yung phishing is a social engineering attack where attackers attempt to trick user into revealing sensitive information. Katulad na lang yung pag-send ng sa cellphone na nag-text sa'yo ng nanalo ka ng 500,000 tapos i-click mo lang daw yung link na yun para makakuha. So yun yung phishing. So the non-physical threats is the latent source of an occurrence which cause loss of fraud or system data. Pag sinasabi nating fraud, ito ay serious, illegal na gumagawa ng isang tao. Tulad na lang ng ginagamit niya yung information mo para makakuha ng gain or money. Katulad ng gagamitin niya yung information mo, personal information mo para makakuha ng pera sa bangko. And the interrupt trade procedure that rely on the system. Ito din yung interruption sa internet connection and the interrupt trade procedure that rely on the system. So yung mga interruption sa mga system ng internet connection and the loss of responsive information. Also this illegitimate observe of action on the systems. So these type of threats are also known as the logical threats.
Good day everyone, especially to you Ma'am Pinky. I am the third reporter from Group 6. My name is Michelle Tanador from BSED Math 3A. Since you already know the differences between physical and non-physical threats, let's now move on to the common type of non-physical threats. So there are 11 types, but for my part, I will only focus on 5 most common impactful ones, which is the malware, virus, worm, Trojan horse, and spam. So these threats may not physically damage our computer hardware, but they can seriously affect our data system performance and digital security all without any physical interaction. So first, let's talk about malware. A software program which is clandestinely located on the computer system that perform unpredicted and unauthorized attempts that are malicious activities. So the other term for malware, it is a malicious software. It is general term that includes different harmful programs like viruses, trojans, and spyware. So according to Vola et al., malware is usually installed without our permission and is used to steal information, damage files, or take control of our systems. It often spreads through infected websites, email attachments, or software we thought was safe. So, the recent attacks was happened on October 14, 2014. A spike in malware attacks targeted an older ATM machines, causing a loss of around $1 million. Another attack happened in Russia on October 8, 2014, drained millions of dollars from ATMs. So this shows how powerful and damaging malware can be. It's not just a threat to personal computers, but also to financial system. Next, we have the virus, a program which can make copy of its own like real-life viruses and extend rapidly. They are premeditated to harm the computer system and put on show unforeseen messages and images. It also destroys the important files and slow down the system. So it is a type of malware. It works by attaching itself to a program or file. And when that program is run, the virus activates. It can corrupt or delete files and spread to other computers through shared networks or USBs. So the paper we read highlights how viruses need human interactions to activate, like clicking a file, which makes them tricky because they rely on user behavior. So the recent attack. One well-known attack happened on August 15, 2012, when the Shamoon virus hit Saudi Aramco, one of the largest oil companies. The impact of it, around 30,000 computers were infected, causing major disruption in their operations. So these attacks shows how dangerous viruses can not just to individual users, but to major organizations too. So next is the worm, a self-reliant program which broaden copy of itself to other systems throughout network, links, email regard, messages, and work as malware. They can block you from accessing viruses, websites, and also pilfer the licenses for various applications that we had installed on our computer system. So, unlike viruses, worms don't need to attach themselves to anything. They can copy and spread themselves automatically across the internet or a local network. Once inside a system, worms can cause slowdowns, crash systems, or open doors for hackers to take over. An example is the attack on February 14, 2013, when a worm infected Linksys routers, affecting over 1,000 devices. So this proves that even our internet connections at home can be vulnerable. So this kind of attack shows that even our home internet routers can be targets of cyber threats. Worms are especially dangerous because of how fast they spread without any user actions. The fourth one is the Trojan horse. It is a program which acts upon a malicious act except cannot imitate itself. This type of program might turn up as undamaging file, and we can say an appliance with concealed malicious signs. During its execution, we might practice unnecessary system trouble and may every so often misplace information from the system. So this one is sneaky. It pretends to be a useful program but hides something harmful inside. When installed, it might open a backdoor for hackers or install spyware without your knowledge. So it's called a Trojan horse because it tricks you into letting it in. So the recent attacks happened on October 25, 20 2011. The Japanese government was attacked by a Trojan originating from China. It gave hackers access to emails, documents, and login credentials of lawmakers for at least 1 month. So this kind of attack can compromise national security and sensitive political data. Lastly, let's talk about spam. So this message, which is transmitted by email and instant message that is not requested by us and intended to formulate funds for the sender. So we usually think of its annoying junk email, but spam can also be dangerous. It's often to send phishing links or infected attachments. Spam can flood your inbox and trick you into clicking harmful links. Wula et al. Mentioned how spam is now even used on social media to spread threats like fake logins or malware. So, a recent attack happens in January 2014 when every smart refrigerator was used to send spam emails. In total, around 100,000 smart devices were involved in the attack, showing that even smart gadgets can be exploited. This shows that as more devices connect to the internet, what we call the Internet of Things, more vulnerabilities can be exploited. So, in conclusion, these 5 non-physical threats, malware, virus, worm, Trojan horse, and spam, are serious risks to our digital lives. They may not harm the hardware, but they can affect our data, privacy, and even financial safety. So that's why it's important to be aware and protect ourselves through strong passwords, antivirus software, and safe internet habits. So that's all for my part. Thank you for listening.
So good day everyone, I am John Rick Prudente from BSed Math 3A. So I am the next reporter of Group 6. So phishing, so when we say phishing, is when someone pretends to be a trusted source like a bank or company to trick you into giving away personal informations like your passwords or your credit card's numbers. So in April 2013, a fake message tricked an AP journalist and it caused panic in the stock market, leading to a $136.5 billion draft. So the next one is farming. So farming is when you are sent to a fake website even though you type in the correct address. So these sites can steal your personal details. So in March 14, over 300,000 home and office internet routers were attacked and people were unknowingly directed to harmful sites. So the third one is spyware. So spyware is a hidden program that secretly watches what do you do on your computer. So it comes when something else you download. So in January 2011, a spyware attack linked to online forums quietly infected many computers without people realizing it. So the fourth one is adware. So it's a software that fills your screen with annoying ads. So sometimes it comes with a fake or free downloads. So in November 2014, a major adware incident showed how these unwanted ads could slow down or mess up people's computers. So the fifth one is botnet. So a bot is a computer that secretly taken over by a hacker. So when many bots are connected, they form a botnet. So which hackers can use to attack big websites. So in December 2009, Amazon's cloud services went down because of this attack. So the last one is ransomware. A ransomware locks your files and asks you to pay money to get back. So in January 28, 2015, a ransomware attack hit Marriott's hotel, affecting over a million rooms and stopping normal operations until a ransom demanded. So that's all for my report.
Greetings everyone, my name is Mariana Israel and I'm going to report about measures and internet security tips to keep your computer and your family safe from web threats. So first we have avoiding malware. So how to avoid malware? To avoid malware, be careful with what you click online, especially in emails and on unfamiliar websites. Don't open emails attachment from people you don't know. Or if the email seems odd, keep your software including your operating system and browser updated. Install and regularly update antivirus and anti-malware software. Use strong, unique password for your accounts. Only download files from trusted sources. Turn on your firewall. Be careful or be cautious on public Wi-Fi. Back up your important data. Stay informed about online threats by being careful and proactive. You can significantly reduce your risk of getting malware. So next we have an antisocial network. So what is the antisocial network? Isn't a standard term, but it generally refers to online platform or behaviors that go against the norms of positive social interaction. Instead of getting or connecting people constructively, this network or action might promote negativity, spread hate speech, bullying, misinformation, or harmful contents. Isolate individuals, encourage echo chambers, filter bubbles, or extreme polarization. Focus on conflict. Prioritize argument, outrage, or division over understanding and empathy. Devalue genuine connection. Emphasize superficial interaction, validation seeking, or performative activism. Essentially, an antisocial network, whether is it a specific platform or a way of using existing ones, undermines healthy social relationship and can have negative impacts on individual and social society. It's the opposite of what social networks ideally aim to achieve. So there, the antisocial network. So next, we have maintaining a healthy system. So as you can see, we have the definitions. I'm going to explain. So to maintain a healthy system, whether it's your computer, your body, or an organization, focus on consistent upkeep and preventative measures. For a computer, this means regularly updating software, running security scans, managing storage space, and avoiding risky downloads or websites. For your body, it involves balanced nutrition, regular exercise, sufficient sleep, and stress management. For an organization, it includes communication, defined process, employee well-being, and adaptive to change. The key is proactive and care and addressing potential issues before they become major problems. So that's all the report of preventive measures. Again, we have 3 preventive measures. We have avoiding malware, antisocial networks, maintaining a healthy system.
Good morning everyone, my topic is the journal Internet Threats and Prevention. Protecting your password. According to the journal Internet Threats and Prevention, frequently change your password and also try to use different password for your different accounts so that unauthorized user can never guess and hack it. If any of your password leak out, then having different password for different accounts will lead the attackers can access to everything you own. Always try to use very strong passwords which make use of combination and uppercase and lowercase characters, special characters, and numbers. Avoid using easy guessable passwords and don't make silly mistakes like writing down passwords where they can be found easily. Next is don't be burned on wire. According to the journal, don't connect to the websites that engage with the transfer of sensitive information, such as online banking, and create user profile without administrators' right for surfing from public hotspots. Use HTTPS while accessing websites. Wireless networks are inherently less protected. Lastly is avoid sharing of files and weak passwords for internet usage. Backups, not crack-ups. Keep your private and necessary information off-site as the professional system administrators do. Always keep your laptops along with you so that to keep backing up, as if anyone stole your data, then you won't have to lose all the important information. Try using system passwords so that unauthorized users can't access your system.
So, good day everyone. I am Rakisa M. Tantong from the BS EdMath student, and I am the last reporter for this group. So, my assigned topic is all about the conclusion. So, developing strong policies and structures is the key to addressing internet security threats. So, internet usage is increasing. User must be educated on safe practices. So, sa panahon ngayon, malaking issue na talaga ang mga banta sa mga internet, or what we call the internet threat. Dahil halos lahat tayo ay gumagamit na ng internet for work, shopping, communication, and also for entertainment. Kaya mas dumarami na rin yung mga pagkakataon para umatake yung mga cyber criminals. So kaya naman may mga grupo at research lab tulad ng mga nasa LOA sa USA na nagsasagawa ng pag-aaral at testing para mapabuti ang mga proteksyon ng mga computer system laban sa mga atake. Pero hindi lang ito trabaho ng mga eksperto. Responsibilidad din nating lahat na alagaan ang ating sarili through online. So, hindi naman natin kailangang maging technology expert para maging ligtas sa internet. Simple lang, i-update natin palagi ang ating software, iwasan yung mga kahina-hinalang website at huwag natin basta-basta magbibigay ng personal information lalo na sa mga hindi natin kilala. These are the key takeaways. So, number 1, keep security software updated. So, especially on public networks just like the cafes, airport, and etc. So, dito, dapat kailangan panatilihin nating updated yung mga antivirus natin at iba pang security tools. So, kapag may antivirus kang apps, make sure na always itong updated. Kasi kung luma na ito, hindi na rin ito kayang labanan yung mga bagong klase ng virus. Lalo na kung mahilig kang gumamit ng mga public wifi, tulad sa mga cafe or airport, mas madali kang ma-hack kung hindi ito updated ang security mo. So, number 2, use web reputation and URL filtering. So, identify safe website before visiting. So, dito, huwag tayo basta-basta magkiklik ng mga links lalo na kapag galing sa mga unknown na sources. So, gamitin natin yung mga browser tools na nagwa-warning kung safe ba ang isang site. So, may mga link na mukhang legit pero phishing pala. Kinukuha lang nito yung mga info natin. So, number 3, install browser and OS updates. So, use latest version and no script plugins. So, dito, huwag palaging remind me later kapag may update yung cellphone natin. Ang mga updates sa cellphone at laptop natin ay may mga kasamang security fix. So, kapag pinabayaan mo yan, mas madali kang mapasok ng mga hackers. So, number 4, check with your ISP. So, know what network protection they offer. So, ISP stands for Internet Service Provider. So, dito, dapat tanungin natin yung mga internet provider natin kung may libreng security tools ba sila. So, minsan kasi may mga kasama na palang parental controls or virus blocking sa internet plan natin na hindi natin nalalaman. So, number 5, Use firewalls and intrusion detection system. Ensure protection from spyware and malware. So here, a firewall is just like a security guard of our devices. Dahil pinipili lang nito yung mga connection na pinapayagang pumasok. So halimbawa, kung may business ka o marami kang devices sa bahay, mas okay kung may intrusion detection system ka para mas makita mo agad kung may kakaibang activity na nangyayari. So number 6, be cautious with downloads. So scan all programs, read license agreements carefully. So here, wag tayo basta-basta magda-downloads ng mga files lalo na kung free pero galing ito sa hindi kilalang site. So baka kasi may kasama itong virus or spyware. So make sure na basahin muna kung ano yung mga ina-allow ng app bago ito i-install sa ating mga cellphone. So, limit personal information sharing. Verify online contacts and use secure connection. So here, huwag tayo basta-basta magbibigay ng mga personal information natin tulad ng mga pangalan, address, phone number, password, and also credit card number. Dahil ito ay napakahalaga. So kapag ito ay napunta sa maling kamay o sa masasamang tao, maaari itong gamitin sa panlilinlang, panloloko at pagnanakaw. So kapag may nag-message sa'yo na hindi mo kilala, huwag agad maniwala. At siguraduhin may HTTPS ang website na binibisita mo. So sa internet, minsan isang maling pindot lang pwede kang ma-scam o ma-hack. Kaya kung gusto mong maging ligtas, mag-ingat, mag-update at huwag basta-basta magtiwala. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you for watching.